Hi, thanks for tuning in today. I have a really great guest coming up in today's episode. His name is Lonay. He lives in Germany. He is from Syria originally. He is an LGBTQ plus therapist. And we had an amazing conversation. I heard about his childhood, about growing up in Syria, being a gay person. I've talked about what he does now as a therapist. And at the end of our podcast, once it ended, I always chat with my guest a little bit afterwards. And he offered me a couple of sessions for free. And he asked me if I had any issues. And I said, not really. Maybe I don't sleep well. That's always been an issue for the past, 25 plus years. And he's like, okay, well, let's meet. So a week later, we schedule a Zoom call. Again, he's in Germany. I'm in Boston. Took about an hour and a half, the first session. We went through and he actually hypnotized me and brought up things that I never would have kind of like thought about bringing up, or things I don't think about anymore or haven't thought about really sometimes ever. And one of the things, the first thing that he brought that came up during this hypnotism was I brought up 9/11. So during 9/11, for those of you who don't know, because I think I've talked about this before in previous podcasts, I was in New York City during 9/11, literally like right there. I was working for Merrill Lynch, and I was in the building that had a walkway attached to the World Trade Center, and I experienced the entire thing. And it seems that is something that has impacted my sleep. And if I look back and I think about the timeline for my sleep issues, it actually was probably around that time when I started having sleep issues, which when you experience something like 9/11, of course, it's going to impact you in some ways. And so that was basically what happened with me, is that we went there in the hypnotism. I think we did about 4 or 5 other events in my life that possibly could have been issues that I've had or that have impacted me and impacted my sleep. After that, he gave me a recording of him doing the hypnotism for me, or hypnotizing me. And then I was supposed to listen to it every day for 2 weeks until our next appointment. I did listen to it most days. We talked about it, and then we did another session, and we have one more session coming up in about 2 weeks. And in our last session, he hypnotized me again. It was a little different. He's given me a journal to kind of write things down, and I'm following everything that he's asking me to do, because I'll try anything to sleep. But I think he's really amazing at his job. He's kind, and he's helping people, and I just want you to hear his story. And the great thing is that he said at the end, he will offer the first 5 listeners that reach out to me through direct message. So I'm on Instagram, the real Zach Ari. If you send me a DM and you're interested in having a session, he'll give you 5 sessions for free. So if you have any anxiety or stress or anything that you can't sleep, give him a chance. And if you don't make one of the 5 sessions, you should book an appointment with him. You can be anywhere in the world, because he helps people everywhere because of technology. Just like you're listening to this, he can go on Zoom or whatever platform he uses and actually do some sessions with you. So I'm really happy I got to know Lonay. I'm really happy that he took time to do this with me. And I will report back in a few months and let you know if I am able to actually sleep better. So far, so good. I have to say, when I'm listening to his recording, I listen to it at night usually before I go to sleep. And it makes me fall asleep, which is good. And I've been staying asleep a little bit better. So enjoy the episode. Be sure to send me a DM. Let me know what you think about the episode. And if you want a session with him, DM me and let me know. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode today. So Lonay works with the LGBTQ plus community. He helps people work through relationships. He helps them, if they're in a toxic relationship or they've had some toxic moments in their life. And let's talk about exactly what you do to kind of help the community and help people that you talk with. Give us a little detail.
So I am like a certified rapid transformational therapy practitioner as well. So I combine, so I have like a 10-week program that combines RTT together with coaching, some mindfulness and meditations to like help people, especially in the LGBTQ sphere, like uncover any like self-sabotage behaviors that like anybody is doing sometimes, or if they're stuck in some like patterns of toxic relationships or toxic dating patterns, or just questioning like why can't I find the like a healthy
Hmm.
love that I deserve, or like long lasting relationship that I want. And like usually it has like a root cause, and this method works on like on a subconscious level. So tapping into the subconscious mind to find the root cause, and then transforming like the old belief patterns into new belief patterns that will help
Mm.
you attract the right kind of person into your life, or also people. And of course, it always starts from like the relationship with yourself and then projecting outwards.
So in today's world where it's, I feel like at one point we were becoming less homophobic as a world. We were becoming more open to things, and now I feel like we've kind of retracted a lot of that. Um, a lot to do with the country I live in, the United States, and just so everybody knows, he's in Germany. Um, and not to get political about everything, but that's the real world we live in. And so, do you think that is actually hurting people as well? Just because people were becoming so accepting. And now I read like even like in Budapest, Hungary, they're making it illegal now to have LGBTQ, events and stuff. It's like the world has gone back 30 or 40 years in a lot of ways, not just the US, but lots of countries, I think. What are you seeing more and more of that?
Yeah, like it definitely affects our psyche and how we feel about ourselves. Like, I mean, it took our communities like so long to embrace ourselves and accept who we are. And now with everything that is going on around us, like, I mean, even myself, I realize I'm starting to have this fear of like, oh, are we going to have to hide again?
Yeah.
Or yeah, like just go back to the closet or something. And I think it will be even worse because like it will be much harder to like not be who you are after you have become who you are. So yeah, like the whole political environment is really affecting everything, and also it affects of like it has effects on how you feel and think about yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just really terrible. And like yeah, as you mentioned, like I see like most of the Western world is going backwards when it comes to issues like or like topics like that. So yeah, it's quite sad to be honest.
Yeah, it's so sad. And I think it's also just if you just think about how many people fought to get, the freedom and stuff and to be able to be who themselves to be who they are authentically, and now it seems like it's just being kind of pushed back. So, I don't know. I hope something major happens where it like it erases all this negativity of sooner or later, that would be amazing.
Also, like I think in times like this, we need to be ourselves even more than
Mhm.
before, because there might be a time coming soon or sooner or later that we will have to like fight again. And so I think like even if the environment would want us to go back into the closet, I think our reaction should be the exact opposite and just really truly embrace ourselves like 10 times more, just
Yep.
because that will be the only way to defeat these kind of environments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself ever going back into the closet or being that person ever. So, like, I would definitely fight for it. I luckily live in a very liberal state in the United States, in a liberal city. I live in Boston, so it's very open and accepting of LGBTQ plus people. So I'm lucky in that. How is Hamburg, where you live? Is it accepting currently today?
Yes, like Hamburg is very open minded, very accepting. So
I
it's
think
one of
Germany overall feels very accepting. Like Berlin has like a. I love Berlin.
capital of Germany.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I loved Berlin every time I'd go there for work often. and people are just so open and nice. And I also think people try extra hard to welcome people because of what happened, with the Holocaust and everything years ago. So I feel like even though it wasn't this generation that did it, I think that everybody is trying to make up for that for previous generations. So you can really feel that in Germany, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Although, like in the last elections, you can see an uprise with in the with the right wing
Yeah.
happening, especially like in the east of Germany. So even though there's no east and west anymore, but politically you can still sense that there is east and west,
Yeah.
and that like for sure is affecting um, like the rights of the LGBTQ community. Like there are some certain like really small towns or villages even that had pride, like let's say 1 or 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and within the last 2 years they managed to like right wing politicians, they managed to abolish pride in certain areas in Germany,
Yeah.
not in the major cities, but in the smaller ones. Yeah, it happened already. So you can also feel like a little bit of tendency towards the right these days, even in Germany. But at least big cities like Hamburg and Berlin, they're still like very much left winged and like pro LGBTQ.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, like, some of the people that are coming to you. What's some of their issues that they've had? They had like childhood trauma. Did they have like issues with their families growing up, and that's kind of like been brought into their adult life and then into their relationships?
Yeah, so it's like all sorts of things. So a lot of people that come to me, they deal with like fear of being alone, since like because of their childhood, they
Hmm.
either were like bullied in school or felt neglected or like yeah, picked on. Um, they were called names like, you're such a girl or
Yeah.
stuff like that. So a lot of people that come to me are like that, or it can be like a past relationship that really traumatized them, like either with with narcissistic people or yeah, or like had also abusive parents or abusive partner, or teachers. So yeah, so it can be that, or it can be as not simple, but as internal as like internalized homophobia, like not being able to fully
Yeah.
like feel themselves or align with who they are, or just a matter of like self-confidence, and like they need to really work on that and like set their boundaries and say what they want, and yeah, like kind of say no to people who they don't want to hang out with or stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, it's like a lot of different things, but most of the time it's definitely coming from like 90% of the time it's coming from childhood.
So you do this, is it a 10-week program you said called Rapid Transformational Therapy?
Yeah, it's 10 week. Actually, the name of the program is Radiant Heart Transformation.
Okay.
And rapid transformational therapy is like a technique that I use to like, it's a therapy technique that I use to go into the subconscious mind and like heal. But I also combined with coaching, and I've been meditating since I was 15. So I
Okay.
also like added some meditation techniques and sessions to also like kind of like covering the subconscious and conscious mind on like the same level, and also giving tools and exercises and materials to really like build this awareness of like what we're thinking, how we're talking to ourselves, our
Hmm.
relationship with ourselves. Because once we fix the relation or re-establish the relationship with ourselves, then everything else aligns basically. So because we always project from inside to the outside, and that's the only way we can attract like true love or even the right kind of people, not even for a relationship but also for friendships
Friendship.
and
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all, I've had toxic relationships with friends, and it took me, one in particular, took me 10 years to realize it was toxic and that I shouldn't be in the relationship anymore. So I also think that when you get older, you end up cleaning house of your friends in some way. You're like, this person isn't good for me anymore, or we've changed and stuff. Do you see a lot of those things happen as people get a certain age where they're just like, I don't want to put up with this shit anymore with these toxic people or toxic friends or toxic group of people, and they just kind of move on?
Yeah, exactly. There are people who come to me, they're like, we know we need to change, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
And like I'm having these toxic relationships with people, but I don't seem to be able to get over it myself. And I want to understand why I'm like I always tend to be attracted to these people, or like, yeah, just keeping them in their life and not able to just say, no, I don't want you in my life. And
Yeah.
that's when like RTT is basically, so it's based on like a neuroscience to like, because every thought and belief we have has like a neural pathway in the brain. And the way to do it is, first, when you're aware of like the root cause, then your mind is able to spot like where this neural pathway is. And then the second thing, when we establish a new belief, then this new belief, and with repetition, like I have some ways to repeat this new belief, because with repetition, like according to neuroscience, it takes at least 3 weeks for one thought to be persistent in the brain or in the mind for the neural pathway of this thought to become permanent in the mind, in the brain. And then through this new neural pathway, the mind will start processing life events through this new neural pathway. And over time, the old one just like shrinks and is not used anymore. So yeah, it's very like scientific based. And and like I also like to include the spiritual side of it to, help, because I also believe in manifestation. So I try to combine science with spirituality at the same time.
So tell me about the manifestation, because I believe in that too. So tell me what your thoughts are on it and how you do it.
In short, I would say the strongest technique for manifestation is just setting intention and then letting go. So these two, it's hard to really combine those two together. So setting the intention is like not only saying I want something, but also believing that you deserve it. And that also has to do with your belief system and your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So once you believe you deserve it, you automatically feel like, okay, then I don't have to stress out about it. It's gonna happen to me because I deserve it. It might take some time, but I'm not running away, and I don't have to do anything for it to happen. Of course, if there are steps in front of you to do, then of course you have to take them. But if it's out of your control, you just have to really believe that it can happen to you, do your best, and then let the universe to like work its gears and bring it to you.
I've always been told you repeat it 3 times, but it's not like what you want to happen. You repeat it 3 times every day, or I do it before I go to sleep, about what I want, where I want to be. So like mine is, I'll just kind of just tell you what it is. I want my podcast to be super successful. So I always say to myself, my podcast is so successful and I'm making a lot of money. My podcast, I say it 3 times, and I don't know, it seems to be going down the right path.
Yeah, I mean, affirmations are definitely a part of manifestation. Just to remind, and actually the way manifestations work, they're also like scientifically based on neuroscience, because if you see on YouTube all these like affirmations videos and they tell you like repeat this for 21 days.
Yeah.
This is where it comes from, because if you repeat a thought for 3 weeks, which is 21 days, then it will form a permanent neural pathway in the brain. And that's actually where it comes from, like why you have to repeat affirmations every day to actually believe in them. I mean, just like when we were in school or college or whatever, like to memorize an info, you just repeat it over and over and over again, because the mind learns by repetition, and that's the only way to go for it. But also, like, it helps more if you're not only repeating consciously, because if you have a contradicting belief in your subconscious mind, it can be really tough for this conscious thought to penetrate the subconscious mind. So the best way to go, affirmations and so on still work, but the best way to make it permanent and to make it like irreversible is to really do both parts at the same time, like the subconscious work while doing the conscious work.
Okay. And are you helping people online also, or are you just doing it all in person?
I'm actually doing it mainly online. Like I don't do it in person.
Okay.
Because I mean, I mainly just do it with English speaking people, and in Germany that's not very possible. So yeah, like my actually I have a lot of clients from the US.
Oh, you do?
Uh,
That's great.
yeah, so even though with the time difference, we always find like time that fits.
Yeah. So what is it that are people coming to you? So I'll just tell you that I have a group of friends. I'm in a relationship for 26 years, monogamous relationship, like, and I think that's rare now.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot in the gay world at all.
And a lot of my friends are all in open relationships, and I feel like even like my straight friends are now starting to explore this. I feel like everybody's becoming very open. Are you seeing that more and more as you're kind of talking with people and counseling them, and is that the new way of the world?
Like, in what sense do you mean?
Well, I just, like if you look at 25 years ago, let's say, when I started my relationship, there was open relationships aren't really a thing. I mean, I guess they were, but they weren't as, maybe they were more private or whatever. But now people are very open, especially with all the apps.
Yeah.
And they can go on Grindr, they can go on, any of these apps now and find somebody. And I had a friend that was getting married. They decided to open up their relationship to be open. And then within 6 months, the relationship ended after being together for 5 years. So and I think one really wanted the open relationship and the other one didn't. And he just went along with it just to make the other one happy. But then he realized it was just too far. It went too far. He was basically, it was like a Tuesday night. He's like, I'm going to go meet, one of them was like, I'm going to go meet this guy from Grindr. I'll be back home for dinner. And he's like, that's not the relationship that I want. So that's basically why their relationship ended. So are you seeing people that are coming to you saying like, I'm in an open relationship, but I don't want to be, and the other partner is maybe still wants to be? Is that common?
Yeah, it's actually like more common than we think. It's always that one person wants the open relationship more than the other in most of the cases. It's really rare that to find like the two people want the open relationship. And actually, like, I don't have anything against open relationships, but I feel like it has to happen in certain ways. Like there should be like a very strong foundation first with yourself, like each partner with themselves, and then together there should be really strong trust, strong base, like strong foundation, and then it can work. And these days, like what I'm seeing is like people start a relationship in an open way, or after a 6 month or after 1 year. And while it can work, but more likely than not, it's not gonna work because you don't have this strong base yet. Like even though you feel like you trust the other person very well, or you know them very well, 6 months or 1 year is almost like nothing in the path or like in building a foundation. So it's really tough to open the relationship that early into the relationship. I mean, I'm a monogamous person, but I do understand like people who are not non-monogamous, and like I do understand their point of view and their perspective, but I would still feel there should be a very strong base to go about it. Because if you, for example, if you were wanting an open relationship because you don't have enough self-confidence and you want this like external reassurance or validation, then your relationship with your partner will fail for sure.
Yeah.
Because you will find the next person who is like praising you more than your original boyfriend, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I feel more loved there, so let me go, because you don't have this like self-confidence. So it really needs to know, like when a couple is deciding like about opening a relationship, they really need to know where it's coming from, like why they want it, like the basis, and they really need to dig deep and maybe even seek counseling to find out like why they want that open relationship. And after all, if it's like just based on like, sexual attraction and just merely that, then it can work, like it's totally fine. But if it has different causes because of lack of self-confidence or needing validation, or not satisfied 100% within their current relationship, it's going to backfire at some point.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows that's listening to the show, if you're in an open relationship, I'm not judging it. Like, I think whatever works for you works for you. Whatever, it's just not for me. So I'm not judging. Like I said, I'm trying to think of any of my friends that are not in open relationships. And I think all of my gay friends are all in open relationships. So it's kind of just...
It's a trend. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They're not all of them. There's a couple that are not, I should say. So
Okay.
At least they say they're not, and I'm not sure for 100% sure, but they say they're not. But we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Okay, and now back to the show. Do you think the apps, like all these apps, are good or bad for the gay community or the LGBTQ community?
I have really mixed feelings about the apps.
Yeah.
Like, on the one hand, like, it's a way to really like find, who's gay, who's not, since we are a minority, and sometimes it's hard to really know who's gay, who's not. But at the same time, I do find them very toxic, like very much toxic.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of rejection that people get from them too. So, I have a friend that lives in New York that went on the app, went to meet this guy in person. The guy, like, no, you're not. I seen you in person. You're not my type. And that'd be hard to hear. I feel like that'd be that's such rejection, and I just feel like people get I guess you're swiping left if you like, or right, and then you're like, if you're talking with somebody, all of a sudden they ghost you and they disappear or block you. Like that's even though it's an app, I feel like it'd still be hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like it can be harmful for like self-confidence and self-worth and so on. I mean, the important thing is, like, I always tell people, like, just don't take apps very seriously and personally. But sometimes it is hard to not take them personally. I used the apps in the past, and now I'm off of them because I realized I don't want this in my life at the moment.
Yeah.
And
do you want a relationship?
Yeah, like, I am a person who is more like relationship oriented.
Okay.
But like, I had the apps because I liked chatting with people in the past.
Okay.
I did have a hookup phase, like at
everybody
the
does
early stages.
that. Yeah,
Exactly. At the early stages of my dating life. And actually, like, I feel it was in a way helpful that it made me confront my insecurities, because these apps will trigger every single tiny insecurity you have.
Yeah.
So if you're aware and if you use it for that purpose, like, okay, let's explore what insecurities I have and work on them, it can be fruitful. But if you're not aware of this, it can be really, really damaging without going into the app knowing, okay, I will have insecurities triggered, and I need to be aware of that to not take it very personally. And if you don't go into the apps with that mindset, it can really ruin you. And even I actually was surprised. I had clients where they're really like physically very well built, and you would think, like, from an outside perspective, you would think like, oh,
they'd be super confident.
Yeah, super confident, super happy. They find guys left and right. They don't care. But actually they struggle with, like, some of them, they struggle with the fact that people only appreciate their physical appearance, and then they don't look past that. Like, they don't appreciate their personalities anymore. And that can be also harmful, because once you age, or if you get into something that doesn't allow you to keep up your physical appearance, then
you have nothing.
Like, your whole identity is just scrapped, basically.
Yeah.
So so that's really tough sometimes. So use apps, but moderately, and not like excessively. And also know that for gay culture, there is more than just hookups.
Yeah.
That's like that's the moral of the story.
Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 27.
27, okay. And so where would somebody go if they're not on an app? Where do, I know obviously there's bars and stuff like that and stuff, but where would you suggest people go if they want to try to meet somebody new?
I mean, for me, the first, like the main thing is like if you're following your passions, like if your hobbies, you have things you really like to do, and you're attending these hobbies and stuff, like in a way, once you are aligned with your passions, you will find your person, regardless of it's like a gay community or not.
Yep.
Like if it's like a gay event or not, let's say that, let's say it this way. But if you really want to like increase your like potential or increase your opportunities to find your person or your persons, who knows, um then I would say, like, for example, here in Hamburg there's like this there's an app called Meetup. It's not just for Hamburg, but there's an app called Meetup. Do you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we have it here too. Yeah, yeah.
And here in Hamburg there's like a group that organizes events through this app, and they meet, and like, for example, it used to be every second Wednesday, now it's every second Friday, and not every Friday actually. And then we meet in a cafe, and then like some new people join, and then we just like sit around, we chat, we get to know each other on a friendly basis. Like sometimes we happen to hear like, oh, these two dated and it didn't work out, or dated and they entered into a relationship.
Yeah.
But it's like a very friendly basis, and where you feel like safe. A lot of the new people who are they just came out, and they're on their like journey to like embrace themselves, and they feel like more safe going to like these low key events than like going to like a gay party or something.
Yeah.
And it's very helpful. Like I met so many gay friends and lesbian friends through that group.
Yep.
And I also like like I also found really interesting people throughout. Like I've been going to this group for the last 2.5 years, and yeah, actually tomorrow is Friday, I'm going again.
Okay.
So yeah, there are places like that. For example, also through this Meetup app, there are also groups where people go for hiking or go for stuff like that, and there are like LGBTQ group as well.
Yeah, there's an LGBTQ hiking group that I seen on Meetup that I actually want to try. So I just need to make sure it's not climbing a mountain. It's a regular hike. So, because I don't like the incline hikes. So, so tell me, like, how did you get into this? Like, how did you have some childhood? Did something happen with you when you were growing up that kind of made you like go down this path for your career? Like, what was your childhood like? Like, what got you here? And starting meditating at 15 is pretty amazing. I mean, I started meditating, in my, 10 years ago or so. And so you started very early.
Yeah, like actually, first of all, what got me into meditation? So I originally come from Syria, which, it's like a war country.
Yeah.
And like growing up, like the war started when I was like 14 years old or something. Like I was in the 7th grade. And it took such a toll on my mental health, and like my stress levels just like skyrocketed, even though I was living in an area where it wasn't like heavily attacked, but it was still like having this feeling that you might not have a future was like a very big thing to deal with at such a young age. And I realized, like, so I've always been more on the spiritual side, like, awareness and so on. But then I wanted to find something that would really help me to support myself, because there was a moment where I realized there will be nobody to help me, because also like mental health in war countries, let's say, or third world countries is not like a big thing to talk about. It's not like an important topic to talk about, because people have like their basic necessities not met, and that's why it's hard to start talking about mental health when you don't have enough money to eat or drink or something.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into meditation, because I realized, okay, I'm the only one who can help me at that time. Like now looking backwards, I think I slipped into depression a bit, but yeah, like I actually don't know how I got inspired to go into meditation. I was looking into so many different things because I was hating the feeling I'm feeling, and I just wanted to feel like good again and be hopeful again. And that's how I got into meditation. It felt like aligned with who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, growing up there was like a big deal. And
you can't be gay at all there, right? I mean, it's like they will kill you in Syria if you're gay. Is that?
I
correct?
mean,
Or
so the law is, yeah, like with prosecution, but it's not applied heavily, or at least it wasn't applied heavily. So yeah, there were many LGBTQ people in prisons,
Mhm.
not getting killed. I mean, some of course, but the majority, they were just being imprisoned like forever. And it's quite sad. And I actually only knew this after I left. Like when I was a kid, I didn't know that.
And when did you know you were gay?
Quite early, but I was kind of like just blocking it inside my head, and I wasn't really dealing with it. And I was like living kind of in a lie. Like I was even like pretending that I like women
Mhm.
and that I find them attractive, even though I never even kissed a woman or a girl or even like dated anyone. But I was
Mhm.
just like kind of having this illusion inside my head that like, oh yeah, I'm into this and into that.
Yeah.
And it was very hard. Like when I started unraveling this or like unpacking this, it was very hard to really embrace myself. But actually, I left when I was 17 years old. I left the country, so 10 years ago exactly. And yeah, like first I lived in Malaysia, then I came to Germany, and then in between went to Hungary, and then came back to Germany. And like just seeing different cultures and different perspectives on lives, and what you thought is wrong is right in other cultures and vice versa. It
Yeah.
really started making me think from like different perspectives and collect different perspectives. And through meditation, it also helped me to really be aware of like what people think, and like also be able to see other people's perspectives. And through that, that helped me to really start like really revamp my whole belief system about everything, and also about myself. And that's when I started like establishing a relationship with myself and
Mhm.
my sexuality. And I actually only started dating when I came to Germany, because that's the only time I felt like safe to start dating here. And then yeah, so like through that, like the suppression from my culture, and then later on embracing it, but then there were like some lingering effects that lasted until like very recently. And I would say maybe there are some lingering effects that I'm
Mhm.
unaware of until now. But one thing that really opened my eyes to some of these lingering effects and insecurities that I had because of my childhood, and because I was raised in such like a suppressed country, was like in my first relationship. It was very intense. You know, your first love, everything is very intense.
Oh yeah.
And then everything surfaced, everything came out. And I was just completely like overwhelmed by the many emotions I was having and the many insecurities I was having. I wasn't even able to deal with it. And then only when this relationship was completely destroyed, like the breakup, basically, the breakup phase, was when I realized, okay, it's not only about the person. I feel like it's something deeper than that. And that's why it was kind of the last push that took me into this path of like therapy and like coaching and everything, because I did like therapy sessions with RTT myself.
Mhm.
And I realized how like I had so many deep rooted beliefs in inside of my subconscious mind, even though I always thought of myself as a reflected person. But I was still had like subconscious beliefs that I was unaware of. And when I really experienced this like transformative effect through like therapy, especially such therapy that works on a subconscious level, I was like, okay, now I know what I want to do, and now I know what my passion is, and I want to help more people do that.
That's awesome. And did your parents know about your sexuality?
Yeah, like I came out in like 2019.
And are they in Germany or are they in Syria?
So they were in Syria up until recently. They left because of the current like issues happening and like the ongoing war and instability there. So yeah, like they were in Syria back then when I came out to them. And for me, it was part like I was really like afraid of telling them,
Yeah.
like all of us, of course. But I didn't know, because in Syria, like nobody talks about this topic. Like, you know, in some countries you have like like opposition to,
Hmm.
to gays and LGBTQ in general. But in Syria, like, we don't even have that. Like, nobody talks about it. Like, not in the media, not the people. Some people, they don't even know what it means.
They just, it's not even part of the world, right?
No, no.
Yeah.
It's like there are people until today. I mean, now it's more known, but there are people until today. Like, if they see the rainbow flag, they wouldn't even know what it is. Like, they'll be
Wow.
like, "Oh, it's a beautiful flag. It's like
Yeah.
rainbow colors." So for me, I couldn't really anticipate how the reaction would be. At first, it was harsh, but then my parents are more like they're unusually open-minded
Okay,
there, I would
good.
say, and they're not religious and so on. So that really helped to accept it, and it took them a while also to really fully feel normal about it and embrace it. Like, they accepted it, but they told me they need time to process. But yeah, when I came out, for me, it was like I didn't care about the reaction anymore. Of course, I cared because I would be sad to lose them, but I cared more about being in alignment
Yeah.
with who I am and just really accepting who I am. And I felt, for me, because I'm close to my parents, I felt that was a very needed like step for me to really embrace myself, no matter what the consequences are.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was willing to risk that, like, to be like, okay, I might lose my parents, but at least I will win myself.
Yeah. I think a lot of gay people, most gay people, I think that's a lot of stories. Like, and I feel like once you tell one person, it feels so good that you need to like keep telling people. That's when I started coming out. I had the same thing. My mother asked me, I told her, she told my father. My father didn't talk to me for 6 months. And then he finally came around. He needed to process it. And then, he was fine with it. He accepted it. My mother kind of always accepted it. And then I needed to tell like other family members. And then I just started telling one and telling the other. And then you need to tell your friend. Like I had a friend, my friend Jennifer, who I was friends with since I was in the 6th grade. I had to tell her, and I had a secret life she didn't even know about because I was going out to gay bars in college and gay clubs and stuff. And I had a whole set of other friends that were gay that she didn't even know about. So I was like living a double life. And then when I was able to tell her, it just felt so good. It was like a relief. So I know where you're coming from. I think that's common with a lot of people.
Exactly, yeah. And like, honestly, until today, it feels like, I don't know if you have this feeling, but at least for me, I mean, it's less now than before, but at least for me, it's still a little bit like every time it feels like you're continuously coming out. Does it feel like that for you? Like every time you meet new people or something like that,
Um,
and you want to integrate them into your life, you want to make sure that they know that you're gay, and you want to know if they're okay with that or not, because otherwise you don't want them to in your life.
in a way, yes. But I think I actually have to say, about 6 months ago, something happened clicked in me. I don't know what it is, but I had a change where I don't really care what people think anymore. And I feel free a little bit about this. Like if somebody doesn't accept me or whatever, I don't care anymore. Or if they don't like the way I, dress or the way I whatever, whatever it is that they don't care, that they don't like about me or whatever, I wouldn't care anymore. And so, but it took me a long time to get there. And I always heard about people when you turn a certain age that, you end up not caring. And I didn't think that was ever going to happen to me, but it did. And now that's where I'm at. So if I meet somebody, I am now fully telling them about, my husband. I'm telling them about my relationship. I'm telling them about my life. And if they don't like it, that's okay. They just don't have to be part of my life. That's how I see it. So,
Yeah, no, that's of course, like, that's how we should all look at it. Um, but like, it's still for me, like, even though, like, actually most of the time I don't care. Of course, there are times I care. If I really like the person, I'm like, oh, please, like, let's
yeah.
not ruin this. But I feel like, even though, like, for me, it became like a test if I want this person in my life or not. But there will be this moment where I'm like waiting for the reaction. Of course, like, I don't want this person in my life if they don't accept me, and I'm not seeking their like acceptance or something anymore. But it just feels like, yeah, it's still like it's a specific moment where you're like, oh, now they know. So let's see how they react.
Yeah.
And based on that, am I keeping them in my life or not?
Yeah, exactly. But again, I live in a live in a very liberal city that accepts everyone. So it's, I think I'm in a bit of a bubble. I guess if I lived, in one of the southern states that's more homophobic or racist, then maybe I would have a different feeling about it. But I feel very secure. Like, we feel safe here and where we live. And, Boston's very safe and open-minded and stuff. So I think that's, I don't know. I'm very happy I got to this point in my life, and I hope that I never have to go back. Like you said, are we going to have to all go back in the closet one day because of what's happening in, the political world? And hopefully not. Hopefully things will turn for us. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you and be part of your program and to be part of this 10-week journey that you would bring them through, how would they get in touch with you?
I will share my website with you. And there's like a book a call button where you can like find the right time for you that aligns with both of us. And then you can book a call with me, and then we can hop on a call to see if we want to work together. And then we can move from there. And I want to mention like two things, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
So the first thing is so I know this program sounded like it's mainly for single people, but it can also be for relationship, like for couples. While I would work like on each person at a time, not together. But it's important because even if you're in a relationship and if you feel like your relationship is not going to in the right direction or not going, or you have so many things and insecurities that you're really battling with during the relationship, and you want like to have a better communication or better connection with your partner, it can also help to like go back to where it's coming from and then work on that. And so it goes the same for singles and for couples as well.
And do you ever bring the couples together at any point to talk to them at the same time?
Yeah, like in certain, like in some sessions, yes, like they will be together, but in other sessions they will be alone.
Okay. Yeah.
So to like just kind of focus on each person and their limiting beliefs and their insecurities and so on, because it can be different even if you're in a couple. And the second thing is that I would like, because I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I'm sure everybody who is listening to this, they're like amazing people too. So I would like to offer like 5 free sessions.
Oh, wow.
So like anybody who's listening, the first 5 people who come to me, please just mention that you came through this podcast. So I know like, okay, I'm going to give you a free session, and then you can decide whether you want to continue or not. Then it's all up to you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so nice. And I will put the website in the description of the podcast or the video. Or if it's on YouTube, so just look for it there. You're on social media as well?
I do have Instagram. It's not very well established yet because I'm not focusing on it. But I do have some stuff there. It's called Radiant Hearts Journey, basically.
Okay, I'll post that in there too. So maybe you'll get some more followers through this podcast as well. So, well, thank you so much for being on. I'm so happy that I got to talk with you. You have an amazing story. I think what you're doing is really amazing. I mean, you're such a survivor coming from Syria, coming out, going through all these different countries, and now you're helping other people. It's amazing. So and I'll just tell you one of my goals is to be a matchmaker. And so I'm hoping somebody will see you and will send me a message saying that they want you to be their husband or boyfriend. And then I can set you up, and then I can come to your wedding and make a speech. That's.
Oh my gosh, that would be so amazing. Thank you. That's really sweet of you.
So if anybody, you're a good looking guy. So if anybody is interested in a relationship and would like to go move to Hamburg, or you live in Hamburg or near, please send me a DM and I will screen you to see if you're a right fit for him. So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That's really sweet of you.
Well, thank you so much for being on. You're an amazing guest and an amazing person. I'm so glad I got to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment what you think about this episode. Thanks everybody.